I was watching my favorite YouTube influencer yesterday, and I was watching one of his 6-year-old videos, which were very basic. He started in a car, actually, because his kids were so loud in the house, he had nowhere to film quietly, so he had to go in his car, and I thought that was genius. And his intelligence and sarcasm and high standard of morality are so appealing that it doesn't matter where he's at, right? Because I'm listening to the substance. So in this video, he says, yeah, so I'm getting a lot of criticism saying that my videos aren't professional and that they're kind of funky and that I need to kind of upgrade. And I thought, isn't that typical American style? This man is fighting for the rights of the children. He's a loving husband and father. He's giving his life to try to help people. And you have the typical people, the critical America, show up and say you need to kind of like bedazzle your videos, make them a little more flashy. I've personally kind of been laughing at every time I see someone, they have like from their home, they have this massive microphone and these headphones to try to look more professional. And I'm laughing at this because I know I had to get away from pop culture and even some of the professional world because there was no substance in it. That my goal to get out of pop culture, which is to get out of illusions, is to get in reality. And a lot of this media professional world is too crafted and too edited, and it's not as real as you might think. And so the goal to get sanity and smart and skilled is you have to get in reality. When I first started my pursuit of the self-reliant, survival, skilled world, all kinds of skills, I watched a lot of TV and internet stuff because that's the only access I had. And what I learned when I finally went on the road to go be around real people in real situations with real blood and guts of animals and real heat and cold and bugs and rodents and all of that, I was so offended and shocked because it was not what I thought it was. I'm looking at these images online like, oh, I want that life, that homestead life. Look, the pioneer little house on the prairie life. And the way these bloggers set it up is a total illusion. It is not that way. Everything is so beautifully crafted. And that's why I like people like this influencer who is in his car. It's like there's no pretense there. He's not trying to show off, but he's got an enormous amount of substance. So America cares about appearances. This shallow appearance, they'd rather have you look good than actually have anything good coming out of your mouth. It's everywhere. You'd rather have cheap food than like food with real nutrition. You'd rather have cheap girls rather than a woman of character and solid skill. You'd rather be a cheap guy and just give yourself away to all this harlotry rather than be a skilled man of goodness seeking to help others. So everyone is just kind of cheap and easy, and this laziness because of our love for the illusion. We love the imagery, this graven artificial image. We love it. And we don't want to get into reality, if we're really honest. When I was up on one of the farms, the pictures were so romantic and pastoral. When I got up there into the actual yurt, I was going to be on this organic farm for a couple months. I was thinking 6 months. It didn't work out. I was in other farms. But I get up there in the yurt, there is so much rat crap, literally sprinkled like a donut with like, the rainbow sprinkles on those donuts. It was like there was that much crap everywhere. And these farmers, like, there you go. Because these farmers, they don't have access to a lot of electricity. There was no running water in the yurt. And I knew all that. I thought that'd be cool off-grid living. Like, yeah, no vacuum. So you got all this rodent crap everywhere. So welcome. So I did my best to brush it up and like, clean up the area and give some semblance. And I realized like, wow, this is really gnarly. This is how people have lived pre-vacuum. And so I was my senses were constantly offended because they weren't what my senses were trained to according to the media, the TV, the editing, the cropping, the putting your best picture up. So that's why I'm here in my kitchen with my pantry with bad lighting, and I'm just basic. There's nothing fancy about me. I got my refrigerator here rumbling along. And this is strategic because you need to get into reality. You need to realize that people who are trained and healthy and loved and well, truly sane, were given that because they were in a simple home with a loving mother and father, with none of the flash, but all of the riches and substance of relational health. They were properly trained. They were given a morality. They were given a sense of belonging. They were helped to know who they were and how God made them to be the best they could be. All in a simple little kitchen. Right at that kitchen table, there's so much life there. There should be, if it's healthy. So that's why this maternal voice is calling out from her kitchen. Not in a big fancy New York studio with a microphone with New York City shimmering in the background. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to, what I believe is, go down to that level. Though most people would say you need to kind of up your game and kind of increase your level of professionalism. I'm telling you, you need to pull out of pop culture and a lot of this fancy pants professionalism that has nothing to do with the substance of anything that's valuable and really good and high quality and will transform your life for the best. All right. I want you to get away from appearances. I want you to not focus on the shallow vanity of how you look all the time. I want you to develop deep riches inside of your soul and spirit. All right. It's a word from Mama Jess today. I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.